Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Check the mic, and it damn sure sounds right, boy. And that could only mean that it's Saturday! You know what that means? We're live! Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the one and only DJ Storms, and I would like to welcome each and every single one of you back here to the greatest fucking show on earth. Right here on 4 different platforms across 6 different accounts. As of course, you already know who I am, Mr. Controversy, and the operator of the best damn Twitter handle, Smell that. You smell that? That right there is the smell of excellence. Wait for it. Wait for it. To mankind! And this is the official Lightning Flash update for Saturday, August 6th, 2022. Happy August, everyone. Happy August, everyone. And yes, Hooligram, I am happy. I'm happy that you're here on time. No disrespect to you, but you got to be more on time. Just throwing that out there. I'm watching you, Hooligan. I'm watching you. Anyway. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a lot to discuss, and this is probably the most positive that I felt about professional wrestling, the entire landscape as a whole, in a good while. I'm actually very, very pumped, very happy. Got a lot to dissect, a lot to talk about. We're going to get into it in just a moment, but first things first, checking the chat here. We got D. Cena, as of course Dee Dee is always here. I don't think Dee Dee's missed a stream since she started watching me. I know we got Hooligram in here as well. We got Peanuts. We got DJ Sums. I saw that we have the Final Hoss in there as well. A lot of good stuff. Right here. We got a couple people watching on Twitter as well. I see 2 people watching on Twitter. People, if you're watching on Twitter, you got to make sure that you are either liking, retweeting, making sure that you're commenting, or you can go to YouTube and comment as well. We got 2 people watching on my Twitter. What's going on with Hardcore Sports? Let's check the Hardcore Sports stream as well. No one watching the Hardcore Sports stream. I'm telling you, we need to spend a little bit more time developing the Hardcore Sports brand. But don't worry, that's what DJ Storms is here for. That's what DJ Storms is here for. So don't you worry, people. Don't you worry. We're going to have a good time. We're always going to have a good time. You always have a good time when you're watching DJ Storms because nobody brings that energy, that passion, that charisma like I do. There's a reason why I am the best in the business. There's a reason why I call myself the Sultan of Titillation. You don't need maximum male models to titillate the juices of your guilty pleasure. All you fucking need is DJ Storm. That's why I got this shirt on, the flyest shirt in the room. You already know the drill. Anyway. We have a lot to get into, but first things first, before we get into anything, it must be said that you all follow me on social media. Follow me on social media, whether it be on Twitter or Instagram. The links are in the description. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at HistoryMakerDJS. Hooligram, I wish I was in California. I could have gone with you. I mean, come on. You got fucking strip clubs out there in California. I can't find a good strip club here in New Jersey for jack shit. Unreal. Anyway, follow me on Twitter and Instagram at HistoryMakerDJS. You'll find out why I am one of the only good things to come out of social media. You can add me on Facebook as well for collaborations and business inquiries. Please send me an email. My email is, of course, StormsTakeOver@gmail.com. Be sure to like the official DJ Storms business page, and I may just send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms Posse group on Facebook. That is, all of those links are in the description, as well as the link for the rundown for AEW Battle of the Belts, part number 3, of course, with little Stevie. I had Stevie on the channel once again. It seems like he's going to be the guy that I always call upon whenever a Battle of the Belts event comes about, mainly because of the fact that he does a very good job at analyzing these events. It's not overkill on him. It's not overkill on me either. So I enjoy having Stevie on, especially for Battle of the Belt rundown. So if you missed it, go check it out. It was a very short stream, only a 1-hour stream. The link is in the description. We did a good job dissecting the winners, the losers, where they could all go after this, some future plans for the future champions of AEW, and of course, Tony Khan expanding his head of talent relations team and his development team. We talked about that. So if you want my thoughts and Stevie's thoughts on the expansion of Tony Khan's backstage crew, please go check that out. The link is, of course, in the description. And Mitch, as per usual, Mitch speaking the truth, like there was any fucking doubt that Mitch was going to come in here and speak the truth, because I am the absolute best in the fucking business, no matter how you spin it or how you fucking look at it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already done so, you got to make sure that you're liking the streams. Whatever platform that you're watching it on, you got to make sure you're liking the fucking video. It is vital that you do so. We need everyone from my channel to migrate over to the Hardcore Sports channel to like the stream over there, and everyone on the Hardcore Sports channel, migrate over to my channel, like the stream over there. If you're on Twitter or Facebook, like it over there. If you're on Twitch, like it on Twitch as well. It's very vital and important that you do so. That way, more likes equals more views, larger outreach, more subscribers, more followers, depending on which platform that we're streaming from. People, liking is important. So everyone from my channel, go to Hardcore Sports channel, like it over there. If you're on the Hardcore Sports channel, go and like the stream over on my channel. Super vital that you do so. Of course, got to make sure that you're hitting the subscribe button. When you come on into the chat here on YouTube, you got to make sure that you're hitting the subscribe button, so that way you will help me add to my already growing fan base. As well, if you're watching on Hardcore Sports, like it on Hardcore Sports as well. Like it on Hardcore Sports as well. I only see 6 likes on the Hardcore Sports channel, and then I see 7 likes on my channel. You see, that's a problem. We need at least 10 this early into the stream. We need at least 10 on both of them. So if you're on my channel, go to Hardcore Sports, like it there. And if you're on the Hardcore Sports channel, go to my stream, like it there. Hit the subscribe button as well. And of course, hit that notifications bell with a huge coup de grace, because that way you're going to know whenever I pop up on YouTube. Because whenever I pop up on YouTube, baby, it is the best time to be on YouTube, because it is the only time that you're going to get to see this glorious sideburn chin strap combination and this beautiful mustache right here. Give me 1 second. This is Earl's favorite part of the stream. We're going to see Earl a little bit later on, I assume. But for now, we're going to light it up right here on the stream with a little bit of and a dash of and a whole lot of because like Campbell's soup, I'm so good. Everybody wants a piece of the Storms Meister. one last time, be sure that you're showing your support to Hardcore Sports, the Twitch right down there, Hardcore Sports 1, Instagram, Hardcore Sports Network, Twitter, Hardcore Sports N, and of course the YouTube channel, Hardcore Sports Network. Check all of their social medias out and help us grow the fan base as quickly as we possibly can. Now then, keep on liking the stream, keep on sharing it out. Let's get as big of an outreach as we possibly can. For now, we're going to get straight into the news, the rumors, and the reports right here on the LFU. Let's start off with Austin Theory. Some people wondering why Austin Theory was not on this week's WWE TV. It's because his uncle recently passed away. He sent out a post last week writing a very nice, very touching message to his uncle, and it seems like the funeral preparations were made and carried out this week, which is why he was not present on Raw or SmackDown. This sucks, and I really feel for Austin Theory here, mainly because of the fact that one of the people that I probably have the best relationship with in my family out of everyone, and that's not trying to throw shade or disrespect towards any member of my family, but one of the individuals that I have the best relationship with in my family is absolutely my uncle. My uncle has been there for me through so much. He's always been there to make me laugh if I'm having a bad day. He's been my trainer when I work out. This isn't even my house. I literally come to his house to stream every single Saturday for the Lightning Flash update. This is his house. So I don't know what I would do without my uncle. My uncle has been one of the best friends that I've had throughout the course of my life. Love my uncle. So I feel for Austin Theory. This sucks. I can only send my thoughts and prayers to Austin Theory, and I hope that every single member of his family finds the strength to get through this difficult time. One thing that's a positive, though, is the fact that Austin Theory right now is not needed on WWE TV. Austin Theory, with everything that's played out this week on WWE TV, there really isn't much room for Austin Theory. So Austin Theory taking the time off right now, taking as long as he needs, this is a good spot for Austin Theory to just relax, especially considering he's been a focal point on Monday Night Raw all year. Now he can take a little bit of a step back. He can take a rest. He doesn't really fit into too much material on WWE TV, and the shows are going to be just fine. So my thoughts and prayers go out to Austin Theory and his family, and I hope that everyone makes it out of this week okay. A little bit of a minor piece of news right here. Carl Fredericks. Don't really know who Carl Fredericks is, but he was contracted to New Japan Pro Wrestling. Now his contract recently expired on August 1st of this week. He's no longer a part of the brand, and he is on the free agent market. I don't know too much about Carl Fredericks, but if you guys know what Carl Fredericks is all about, please be sure to tell me. Please make sure to give me a rundown on everything Carl Fredericks related, because I'm actually quite interested in seeing what he could do. I didn't think much of Clark Connors when Clark Connors was placed at Forbidden Door in that Fatal 4-Way All-Atlantic Championship match. Meanwhile, Clark Connors went out there and really impressed the shit out of me. Impressed the shit out of a lot of people. So if you guys know a few things about Clark Connors, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. I would love to know more about Clark Connors. It's always fun for me to see new individuals in the wrestling community come up through the rankings and really shine in ways that we never thought we'd shine. People that we didn't really think too much of now making names for themselves. It's definitely a wonderful thing to see. So if you guys know anything about Clark Connors, please make sure that you tell me. Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss, one of my least favorite individuals right here. Alexa Bliss discussed on an interview with Metro.co UK that she doesn't like the current direction of her character. You and me both, babe. You and me both. She stated, and I quote, "They always say, be yourself, but turned up. But for me, in life, I like me. For TV, I'm not entertaining. I know that. I'm boring." You sure as hell are. You sure as hell are. So Alexa Bliss is really throwing out some truth bombs about herself. She even knows that she sucks. Now I'm in this limbo of I don't really know where I'm going with my character yet. So now it's finding where I fit. What character is needed for the show? That's what she said during the interview with metro.co.uk. To be quite honest with you, if I was someone booking Alexa Bliss, I wouldn't even book her at all. I would legitimately, I don't even give a shit how nasty this sounds. I legit would just let her go. I'd fire her, to be quite honest with you. Alexa Bliss, the one character that I would love to see Alexa Bliss play is John Cena, where we can't see her. Because less Alexa Bliss on television is much better for the overall women's division. I don't give a shit what anyone says. Alexa Bliss undoubtedly is one of the worst wrestlers in women's wrestling history, right next to the Bella Twins, right next to Eva Marie, right next to Alicia Fox. Alexa Bliss sucks. I don't give a shit how many stands she has or whether you think she's inspiring or not. I don't give a shit. She's a very good actress, but as far as an athlete, she sucks. Some people are not cut out for the wrestling business. Alexa Bliss is not cut out for the wrestling business. And the crazy part about it is she's literally been given the world when she is one of the most talentless individuals in the entire fucking company. Alexa Bliss sucks. Alexa Bliss is a detriment to women's wrestling. So the more Alexa Bliss is off of television, the happier I am. I don't know what they're going to do with Alexa Bliss, and to be quite honest with you, I don't care. I just hope Alexa Bliss gets taken off of television sooner rather than later. Whether or not she's repackaged or not, if she's off of television for another 6 months to get repackaged, that's 6 months in which I'm going to enjoy very, very much. Bliss makes the show worse, and I've made it pretty apparent that she does make the show worse, and if you want to go out of your way to send this to her, I don't give a shit. I hope she sees this, and I hope that she knows that she sucks. Moving on here, we got PW Insider. This is actually an interesting scenario because PW Insider reported that there are the major changes backstage to WWE that happened this week. It has led to a big feeling of optimism, saying, and I quote, "a lot of optimism for a lot of talent after Raw went off the air. Many wrestlers noted that they have a renewed optimism with Triple H in charge." In addition to that, PW Insider is reporting that one major change to WWE that has happened this week is the loosening up of freedom on the microphone, allowing them to improvise more. We heard the term hospital. We've heard the term wrestling. We've heard all these different types of terms. Michael Cole probably had one of his best weeks as far as a commentating role goes this week. Michael Cole, when he's not doing all this shit to kiss up to Vince McMahon, and he's not saying shit that Vince McMahon tells him to, when he's not manufactured and he's allowed to go out there and be natural, Michael Cole is actually a very good commentator. He's no Jim Ross. He's no Mauro Ranallo, but I mean, he's a close third. He's a close third. Michael Cole is not a bad commentator at all. Maybe even a fourth. I actually prefer Tom Phillips or Tom Hannafan over Michael Cole. But Michael Cole is not a bad commentator at all. The fact that they're doing this right here only enhances the product, and this is going to make things flow better. This is going to make the vibe of the show better. This is going to make everything regarding WWE TV come off better, and this is exactly what I love to see. We got a new feeling of optimism backstage. I mean, come on. Did that shock you? Of course we got a new feeling of optimism backstage. And it just further proves that Vince McMahon is absolutely a cancer in the wrestling industry, and he needed to go. And now that he's gone, people have this renewed sense of optimism that they're not walking on eggshells. They're not walking on eggshells. They're not living in fear that they could be cut tomorrow if they're not Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, Randy Orton, Charlotte Flair, or Ronda Rousey. And it gives them a sense of optimism in which now they could finally get the opportunities that they've been waiting for. They can finally get the opportunities that they've desired for so long, because now someone is in charge who knows what pro wrestling should be about in the modern era. One person is in charge that has his finger on the pulse of the WWE and wrestling fans in general. This is someone in Triple H that knows what's in. He's in tune. He is in touch with the fan base. He is in touch with the pro wrestling landscape. He knows what pro wrestling needs to be. Vince McMahon, he didn't know jack shit in this modern era. I don't give a shit whether he created this. I don't give a shit about his past glory. I've said it all the time. Past glory don't mean shit if you are not doing well in the present. This is why I say that The Miz sucks and The Miz is valueless. The Miz may be a Hall of Famer. The Miz may have been at one time one of the best acts in the company, but now in the last 4 years, The Miz has been a waste of space. The Miz has been one of the worst acts in the company. Past glory don't mean shit if you're not doing well in the present. And at the end of the fucking day, Vince McMahon was doing absolutely some of the worst creative work of his entire pro wrestling career as a backstage producer, correspondent, and CEO. Now, Triple H is in charge. After what we got on Monday Night Raw and everything that flowed through Monday Night Raw, people getting different opportunities. Chad Gable, Mustafa Ali, Ciampa getting different singles opportunities. We didn't have one single championship contenders match this entire week throughout WWE TV. Not one. Not one. Shayna Baszler getting an opportunity. Nakamura getting an opportunity. Ricochet getting an opportunity. Karrion Kross returned legitimately out of nowhere when no one was expecting him for weeks. He was one guy that was rumored to come back. Even Fightful reported it. No one was expecting him to show up last night. Now he's back. Now he's with Scarlett. Now he has the whole gimmick, the whole presentation. And now, right then and there, Triple H is already establishing what could very well be one of the best main event championship title scenes that we've seen in quite some time. You add Cross in there. You add a few more names in there. Bring some more names up from NXT. Build them up as main event guys. Maybe go out on the independent scene. Gain some new talent over there. The NIL tryouts were terrible over SummerSlam weekend. Injury after injury after injury. Now we should have the independent wrestlers being recruited once again now that Triple H is in charge. The NIL program is always going to be there, but now they can have recruits from the independent scene like it always should have been. The NIL program's a failure. The NIL program's a failure. We do not need people that come from outside pro wrestling to come into pro wrestling. It is a rarity that you're going to find a Matt Riddle or a Brock Lesnar or a Ronda Rousey or a Shayna Baszler or a fucking Logan Paul for that matter. He doesn't know jack shit about anything pro wrestling, yet he came in and he put on one of the best matches that WWE's seen all year with The Miz. It is not common that you're going to find people like that. You need to go with independent professional wrestlers because this is a pro wrestling company operating in a pro wrestling industry. It's common fucking sense. Look at what they did this entire week. Cross, Baszler, Ciampa, Ricochet, Nakamura, Iyo Shirai, Iyo Skye, whatever the fuck you want to call her. All of these individuals would have never succeeded under Vince McMahon's power, under Vince McMahon's watch. They would have never succeeded if they were in the grubby little palms of Vince McMahon. Never. They would have either of all been buried, they would have been changed, or worst case scenario, they would have been fired. How many people would have been fired already if Vince McMahon was still in charge? Liv Morgan, after she lost this championship, she would have absolutely been on her way out. Cedric Alexander would have been fired. Ciampa would have been fired. Ali would have been fired. Xia Li would have been fired. Shotzi would have been fired. Would not be shocked if Shayna Baszler would have been fired. All of these people would have been fired. Tozawa probably would have been fired as well. I don't know how much longer they could have kept up the 24/7 championship bullshit before Akira Tozawa was fired and taken off of television completely. All of these individuals that would have never gotten an opportunity under Vince McMahon, now they're getting an opportunity, and now they're going to show the world just how good they really are. And it is a great thing to see because now professional wrestling can thrive again. Vince McMahon, and I'll say this over and over again, it is going to take a long time, and I mean a long time, for Triple H to repair the damage that Vince McMahon did. NXT this week sucked. minus one or two things. I'm not even going to talk about NXT. I'll talk about a little bit of details here and there, but NXT this week sucked, minus a few things here and there. Minus KC Catanzaro or Katana Chance and Kaden Carter winning the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships, minus the fact that Carmelo Hayes is being booked very well, and minus the fact that Santos Escobar returned, and that great main event, I will say, Von Wagner and Solo Sikoa, that was a great main event. Minus those two things, this week's NXT sucked. NXT right now is the worst wrestling show in the entire industry, and it's going to take a long, long time for Triple H to rejuvenate that. But clear as day, NXT is not his priority right now. His priority is Raw and SmackDown, because Raw and SmackDown, they have been terrible for God knows how long, at least a fucking decade now. They've been deteriorating year over year over year over year. NXT, they've just sucked for about maybe a year now. Raw and SmackDown are his top priorities right now because now with him as the head of creative, he needs to focus on making sure the major pay-per-views, these big shows like Clash at the Castle, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Royal Rumble, Survivor Series, these shows are going to be must-see shows. These shows are going to be at the top of their fucking game. And I appreciate that. Right now, NXT is not his priority. It's going to take a long, long time for everything to come full circle and everything WWE related to be must-see. AEW, not all their content is must-see, but the majority of it is. Battle of the Belts tonight. I'll be watching Battle of the Belts, and I'll be doing a rewind for it on Tuesday at 8 p.m. What Triple H needs to do is the same thing that I said Tony Khan needed to do. Tony Khan needed to make do with the amount of TV time that he's been given. Triple H has too much TV time and not enough talent. Their roster is undoubtedly the worst roster that they've ever had. It's nothing but skin and bones. I've said this numerous amounts of times. They fired so many people that Triple H has nothing but scraps to work with. But for scraps, what he's given us this past week on WWE TV across Raw and SmackDown has probably been the most bearable shows throughout the entire fucking year. Probably the most bearable shows since the initial 2016 WWE draft. Raw this week was great. SmackDown wasn't great, but it was probably the most bearable SmackDown of the year. We did get some solid stuff. We got storyline continuity. We got some decent wrestling. We got new stars being built up. This is a great start. This is a great foundation. And what we've gotten is just the beginning stages. If Triple H has made do with nothing but table scraps already, and he's made semi-decent to bearable material on Raw and SmackDown already, can you imagine what he's going to be able to do by the time next year comes around, and the year after that, and the year after that, and the year after that? This shit right here could very well take the WWE to the next level. And look at what happened with the ratings. Look at what happened with the ratings. Raw was over 2 million. Raw was over 2 million. If Raw got over 2 million on a random fucking August, the first Monday in August, and they got a random ass 2 million viewership in the middle of August, that right there goes to show you that Triple H, he's putting on good shows. He's putting on a good product. And good product equals good ratings. That's why Dynamite's ratings have been increasing year over year. That's why Raw's ratings just recently increased this past Monday. Now we're going to see what good television will bring. Good TV brings more money, brings more viewers. Vince McMahon's way is not the only way to make money. You can make money putting on a good television show and booking the show like a pro wrestling show should be booked. This is a great thing. And I cannot wait. I honestly cannot wait to see what else is in store. I'm legitimately excited to tune into Raw and SmackDown nowadays. Really, I am. I'm actually genuinely excited for Clash at the Castle. And another big one here. WrestlingNews.co have reported that an agreement has been reached between the WWE and Sasha Banks and Naomi. They could be returning to Raw as early as this Monday. Why? They threw out their contracts and they threw away their WWE careers for a very good reason. Why? Because Vince McMahon didn't fucking respect them. Now that we got the reintroduction of the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships, you know that Triple H is going to do everything in his power to make that tournament feel important. He's going to do everything in his power to make shit feel must-see. And now, with those titles coming back, we could very well see Sasha and Naomi come back, and they could end up being in the finals against Dakota Kai and Iyo Skye, potentially a Clash at the Castle. That right there is a Match of the Year candidate with those 4 women in the ring all together. That right there, even though the women's tag team title should go away, they need to be retired. It doesn't work. And I'll continue to say it doesn't work. But, I will say this. I will say that with Triple H in charge, it gives me just a little bit, and I'm going to use it again, just a little bit of optimism that he may, I don't know what's going to happen following this tournament and following Clash at the Castle, but he may put forth an effort to make the women's tag team titles feel somewhat prestigious. It's going to take a long time. It's going to take a very long time, but I'm willing to give Hunter a chance. I'm willing to give Hunter a chance. With Sasha and Naomi coming back, this helps the women's division altogether. This enhances the SmackDown women's division. This could enhance the Raw women's division. Here's what we need to do. What we need to do is we need to get rid of the SmackDown and the Raw women's championships, and we need to make them one. That's what we need to do. We need to have a title unification match between whoever's the Raw Women's Champion and whoever is the SmackDown Women's Champion following Clash at the Castle. And whoever wins that match needs to be the undisputed Women's Champion going into WrestleMania. Now, if I was booking this, I would not have Sasha return. I wouldn't mind seeing Naomi return because I'd actually love to see what Naomi could do with someone like a Bianca Belair, someone like a Shayna, someone like a Liv Morgan. I wouldn't mind that. But I would save Sasha. I would save Sasha for the Royal Rumble, and I would have her win the Rumble and face the undisputed women's champion at WrestleMania 39 in SoFi Stadium. I'd also make WrestleMania a one-night event and cut the amount of matches from 16 to 8 or 9 matches. That's what I would do. How SummerSlam was booked, the 8 matches that were on SummerSlam, that needs to be the amount of matches on WrestleMania. We do not need a 2-night WrestleMania. Get rid of it and reduce the amount of matches to 8. 2-night WrestleManias are overkill. Also, 5-hour WrestleManias are overkill. All we need is 8 to 9 matches. No 14, no 15, no 16, no 17. 8 to 9 matches. 10, maybe. Depends on how good your timing is. We do not need all that other bullshit. We don't. But as far as Sasha and Naomi goes, I am very, very happy to hear this. I'm very happy to hear this. I'm very happy to see that they've made the agreement, and we could very well be looking at Sasha and Naomi returning maybe on Monday. I wouldn't mind it. I certainly would not mind seeing Sasha and Naomi versus Iyo Shirai or Iyo Skye and Dakota Kai at Clash at the Castle for the Women's Tag Team Championships. I wouldn't mind that at all. But I would prefer Sasha to stay out until the Rumble. But this is a great thing. Now, Triple H is starting from the bottom, rejuvenating the women's division, and now he is going to build up the women's division in the light that it should have been built up from day one. He is going to make the women's division a must-see act. You got Dakota, you got Iyo, you get Sasha back, you get Naomi back, you're building up Shayna Baszler. Raquel Rodriguez looked pretty decent on SmackDown last night in that gauntlet match. Shotzi got a win last week. This is what we need. Very happy to hear about this. Those are your news, rumors, and reports. Pretty quick with the news, rumors, and reports, actually. I may get into something else a little later on because I actually heard a report from Fightful considering Karrion Kross is now back. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. But for now, we are going to get into the weekly show reviews. Now, first things first, shout out to all the new people in the chat. Shout out to Ashton G, Jeffrey Turner. Shout out to Earl Cole. Appreciate you stopping by. Shout out to DJ Sums as well. Shout out to Normal Guy. Appreciate each and every single one of you. If you guys have not liked the video or the stream yet, if you've not liked the stream on my channel, go and like it on my channel, and then migrate over to the Hardcore Sports channel, like it over there. I see that we got 10 likes on my channel. We got 11 likes on the Hardcore Sports channel. So here's what I want you to do. If you're on a Hardcore Sports channel, go over to my channel, like it. If you're on my channel, go over to Hardcore Sports channel and like it. Share it out on all platforms, social media. We are going to get into the weekly show reviews, and we're going to talk about Monday Night Raw, which was actually a pretty decent fucking show. Probably the best Raw since the 2016 Draft Raw. I remember that Draft Raw. We had a lot of great material. We had Sasha and Charlotte for the Raw Women's Championship. Finn Balor won a match against Roman Reigns to fight Seth Rollins at SummerSlam. We had a couple great Fatal 4-Ways. Some solid material on that show. Really solid material. Raw kicked off with Becky Lynch. She was shown in a sling. But here's the thing. Here was the kicker with Becky Lynch. She came out and she looked normal. She looked like a normal human being. This is exactly what I want to see. We did not need Becky Lynch looking like what would happen if fucking Heat Blast banged Megatron, or fucking Lady Gaga banged the Tin Man from The Wizard of Oz. She looked normal. She looked like a human being. Good. Perfect start right there. Now, Becky came out. She said that she's happy that she finally remembers who she is. It's in the determination. It's in correcting and realizing every mistake, owning every mistake that I've ever made. I had two choices when I separated my shoulder at SummerSlam. I could give up or push through it. And I became so separated from reality. And when the ref counted 3, I knew that my best wasn't enough. I am not defined by a title. I define the title. I am not defined by the match. I define the match. I am not defined by any man. I define the man. And the comeback story starts now. But first things first, I want to have Bianca come out. So Bianca came out. Becky then said that Becky truly is the man. They embraced, and then Becky let Bianca have her moment. Now, Becky Lynch, I will say it once, I'll say it again. I'll say it once, I'll say it again. Becky Lynch is a terrible, terrible fucking heel. She was one of the worst heels ever. Becky Lynch was one of the worst acts in the entire company, the entire wrestling industry when she was a heel. Her heel work was atrocious. Her heel work was atrocious. Becky, I said it once, I'll say it again, she's undoubtedly one of the most selfish women in the industry. I am not going to deter from that, especially considering that Becky Lynch has more power than Charlotte Flair backstage, to a point where she could legitimately go out there, kick Vince McMahon in the balls, and she would still be praised backstage. But she didn't stand up to Vince McMahon when Vince McMahon pitched to her that she was going to squash Bianca in 26 seconds at SummerSlam last year. So I will say this again. Becky Lynch, as a person, she is still a selfish cunt. You don't like it? Suck my dick. It's the fucking truth. What I say is the truth, and you're going to have to fucking live with that. Becky Lynch, undoubtedly, is a selfish cunt. She was terrible. Terrible, no matter how you look at it. But, professionally, when Becky Lynch is a babyface, this is the type of Becky Lynch that the fans can get behind. This is the type of Becky Lynch that we are going to connect to. This is the type of Becky Lynch that is going to make TV semi-decent. Becky Lynch finally gave us something that we could actually sit back and say, man, that wasn't that bad. Becky's heel work sucked. Becky Lynch, as a person, she's a bitch. But professionally as a babyface, people connect to her. This was the best that Becky Lynch has sounded ever since she made her return a year ago at SummerSlam. You know why? Triple H. That's why. Triple H made the decision. Triple H did what he needed to do. He corrected Vince McMahon's mistake, and Becky Lynch is now a babyface, just like she always should have been. Bianca then talked about how much she respected Becky, and Bianca actually sounded well too. Bianca was given some of the worst promos to go out there and recite as a babyface. Bianca's babyface promos under Vince McMahon was some of the worst things on TV, as well as Becky's heel work. Now, Bianca's going out there. She sounds genuine. She sounds real. She sounds normal. She sounds like she's speaking from the heart and not reciting a cringy script written by a 77-year-old fart. This is a great thing to see. She talked about how Becky made her work for the Raw Women's Championship, and there was a level of mutual respect there, and that means something. All of a sudden, Bayley and her crew were shown attacking Becky Lynch in the back with a steel chair, and Becky Lynch was written off of TV. This was simple. This was real. This was effective. This was natural. This was genuine. This was every bit of Triple H as you could possibly get. This was exactly what needed to happen. Very happy that Triple H carried out the proper occurrences that needed to occur. Very happy to see this. Triple H did what he needed to do. He corrected Vince McMahon's mistakes, and now Becky Lynch is back to being the Becky Lynch that we all fell in love with. And the fact that she's away, this is going to give more opportunities to other women, which is what I love to see. This is going to give more opportunities to Dakota, to Iyo, maybe some other women on Monday Night Raw that haven't gotten the opportunity yet. Maybe we see Asuka get more of an opportunity. Maybe we see Doudrop. Maybe she goes back to her name of Piper Niven like she always should have been. So from there, we go into a promo package. A beautiful promo package highlighting the prestige of the United States Championship. Excellent. Excellent. It's exactly what needed to happen. Now, we get a showcase. We get a spotlight on the mid-card championships. And this is also a great thing to see because Vince McMahon never highlighted any championships outside of the ones that Roman Reigns was fighting for and Roman Reigns was holding. Now, everyone and every championship and champion is going to get a solid showcase. Every title is going to get the proper respect that it deserves. No championship contender matches, which is something that I absolutely love to see. So we get a promo package highlighting the prestige of the United States Championship, and we go into our first of two triple threat matches. It was AJ Styles versus The Miz versus Mustafa Ali in a triple threat qualifying match to see who would advance to a singles match, and the winner of that singles match would end up fighting Lashley next week for the United States Championship. It's a pretty solid match right here. It's what I love to see. And the first hour of Raw was actually commercial free. So shout out to Triple H for that. Really good stuff right there. So Ali, he came in with a tope suicida on The Miz. Ali was then sent into the turnbuckle. Miz went up top. Ali met him there, and he shoved him off. He had a big boot to Styles and a DDT on Ali, did The Miz for a 2. Styles with an enziguri on Miz. Ali and Styles then traded strikes. Ali with a roll-through. Styles stopped him. Styles had Miz. Ali with a neck breaker, and Styles had Miz in a reverse DDT position. Both men went down. Nice little spot right there. Ali then was caught with an Ushigoroshi, and then Styles had a Pele kick on The Miz. Ali came out of fucking nowhere with an avalanche tornado DDT on the floor. Styles was out. Miz was hurt. He was hurt because of his ribs. His ribs were taped up after taking that frog splash from Logan Paul back at SummerSlam. So Ali was trying to get back in the ring. Miz hit the skull-crushing finale. Ali kicked out. We had a super kick by Ali. He went up. This was a phenomenal spot right here, no pun intended. Ali hit a 450, and he bounced off of The Miz on the 450. Styles was right there, and he caught Ali into a Styles clash. He Styles clashed Ali onto The Miz, and then he pinned Ali, did Styles, to advance to the match later on in the night with the winner of the second triple threat. Decent match right here. Great ending. I wasn't even bothered by The Miz. I wasn't even bothered by The Miz on this episode of Raw. Triple H made The Miz somewhat bearable on Monday Night Raw. Who would have fucking thought? Solid triple threat match right here, and we got a great fucking ending. Styles advances. Good shit. Really good shit. Seth Rollins, he came out being as flamboyant as usual. He said, "Welcome to Monday Night Rollins." He went on about how he is a visionary. He's a revolutionary. Tonight is the night of celebration, and we don't have to see or hear that idiot Riddle. Takes a lot of guts to do what Riddle did, but there's a fine line between stupidity and guts. And he's crossed the stupid line, has Riddle, more times than I can count. He's on the shelf just like Randy. Now I can turn my attention to Roman Reigns. And that right there is a little bit of foreshadowing, because I do believe that Seth Rollins will be the undisputed WWE World Heavyweight Champion at some point, and Rollins will inevitably take that title into WrestleMania to drop it to Cody. So the Street Profits came out. Rollins then ranted, and the crowd got hyped for the Street Profits. Rollins then told them to shut up. He mocked them for losing to the Usos, and they said that they should just break up. Dawkins then goes, "Hey, didn't we beat you to become Raw Tag Team Champions?" And then Montez Ford goes, "Didn't this guy lose to Cody Rhodes when Cody only had one pec?" So obviously that was some nice little decent burns right there by the Street Profits. Rollins then challenged one of them to a match. So they played rock, paper, scissors, or so we thought that they were going to play rock, paper, scissors. Montez then just ran down to the ring with the ref, and we got a match. I don't know about you, but that could very well be setting up a heel turn. That could be setting up a heel turn for Angelo Dawkins. I don't know. I hope it doesn't happen now, but that's definitely something that they could revisit down the line. Montez Ford and Seth Rollins. This was a very, very good match. Really solid stuff right here. Loved what they did. Montez Ford and Seth Rollins, they meshed very well together. And Montez Ford, if you're not keeping your eye on Montez Ford, you got to keep your eye on Montez Ford. He is going to be something special when the time inevitably comes. Montez Ford was great in this match. So Ford, with a back body drop to Rollins on the floor, Rollins then regained control quickly, sent Ford into the post. Ford then came back with a nice cross body for a 2. Ford with some stiff punches and a big lariat, enziguri, back suplex, and a standing moonsault for a 2. Very nice flurry by Montez Ford. Rollins then with a super kick for a 2. Rolling elbow, he went for a Falcon Arrow, but Ford countered, and Ford gave him a tornado reverse DDT off the middle rope. That got a 2. Rollins with a buckle bomb and a Falcon Arrow. Ford kicked out. Rollins went up top. The frog splash missed. Ford then went for the frog splash. Rollins got the knees up and then delivered a stomp to Montez Ford for the 1, 2, 3. Montez Ford being built up as a credible threat, a credible wrestler that people will be taking seriously as a singles guy in due time. Very happy to see that. Rollins gets a solid win, headed towards his match with Matt Riddle, and we got a very good match. I can't complain. If anyone's legitimately complaining about this, no matter who the fuck you are, if anyone's legitimately complaining about this, you seriously have a mental fucking problem, and you need to get your fucking act in shape. Seriously. Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss versus Asuka. This match ended in a DQ because Bayley and her crew ran out and caused the DQ, which I don't really mind, because as long as Alexa Bliss is not wrestling in the ring, or as long as her matches only go 2 minutes, I don't really care. Alexa Bliss sucks. She needs to leave the wrestling industry. She is terrible. Terrible. No matter how you look at it. She sucks dick. And I'm not talking about Ryan Cabrera's. So Bliss and Asuka traded a few transitions back and forth. Bliss hit a couple of knees to Asuka. All of a sudden, Asuka hit a German suplex and a sliding knee. Bayley and her crew then attacked both women. Bianca Belair then came out for the save, and Bianca then wanted a match with one of the three women, and it looked like we were going to get Iyo Skye and Bianca Belair. That's exactly what we got. So from there, we go into another very good match, triple threat match right here with Dolph Ziggler, Chad Gable, and Tommaso Ciampa. I hope that they give him his first name back. This match started off very quickly. Ziggler was launched into the buckle by Ciampa. We had a fall away, full Nelson slam by Gable, which looked very nice. Coming back from commercial, Gable with an ankle lock. Ciampa then hit a famouser on Gable while Gable still had Ziggler in the ankle lock. Ciampa then with white noise, or the air raid crash from the middle rope, that got a 2, because Gable came off the top with a diving headbutt to stop the pin. Gable went for a rolling German suplex on Ciampa, and as Gable was coming down with the suplex on Ciampa, Ziggler pulled Gable down into the zigzag. Gable was covered by Ziggler. Gable kicked out. Really nice near fall. Ziggler hit a super kick. Chad Gable tried to steal it. Dolph Ziggler saved it. All of a sudden, Ciampa hit a knee on Dolph Ziggler, punt knee on Gable, and then he hit the fairy tale ending, and Tommaso Ciampa wins this triple threat match, and he's going to fight AJ Styles next week. Another solid fucking match right here. Another scenario in which new stars are being created with Ciampa getting the win. We go from that to Edge. Edge came out to Metalingus. Great song is Metalingus. I was actually listening to it yesterday on my ride home from work. Excellent stuff right there. He thanked the Houston crowd for the reception, although the Houston crowd was dead for most of the night. And it's mainly because of the fact that the majority of the Houston crowd is a bunch of brain-dead fucking retards. They're not real wrestling fans. WWE fans, I'm going to tell you this. WWE fans that sit in the arena like that, those are not real wrestling fans. Those are fans that have been conditioned to just go along with whatever that they're given, and they barely even fucking react. There was no piped-in crowd noises this time. So the crowd obviously was dead because they need to be trained like fucking children. They need to be conditioned to understand that this is now a pro wrestling company run by an individual who loves pro wrestling. It's going to take a while. So Edge goes, now we both get what we want. I wanted to help underutilized talent, and we were just getting started, and they thought they learned all there was, but they were wrong. Actually, no, it wasn't them, Mr. Adam Copeland. It was Vince McMahon that kicked you out, when in reality, you should have never been kicked out, and you should still be in Judgment Day, revitalizing and rejuvenating the careers of Finn Balor, Damian Priest, and Rhea Ripley. So Edge said that they pulled one over on him. You saw me pull myself out of hell that you put me in, and now I'm back. He then looked into the camera and said, Damian, Finn, Rhea, I am going to end Judgment Day. Simple, effective. There you go. I didn't have an issue with this. It was simple. It was effective. It was perfect for what it was. Now it looks like we're probably going to get Edge and the Mysterios versus Judgment Day. I don't know who Judgment Day is going to enlist. We'll have to wait and see, but maybe we get Finn Balor versus Edge. We'll have to wait and see. Iyo Skye and Bianca Belair. This was a great match. Great match. The ending was stupid, though. The show wasn't perfect by a long shot. Triple H, he still needs to work on a few things. The match itself was great. The ending was fucking retarded. The ending legitimately insulted everyone's intelligence. We'll talk about it. Though. So, Skye hit a springboard moonsault on Belair. Coming back from a commercial, Bianca was in control with a big body slam. She mounted a comeback. Iyo Shirai with double knees. Another set of double knees. She pulled Bianca into the middle of the ring for a 2 count. Bianca with a fallaway slam, a glam slam, and a handspring moonsault for a 2. Bianca went up top. Bayley and Dakota Kai caused the distraction. Iyo Skye with a Frankensteiner off the middle rope for a 2. We had a vertical suplex by Belair. Bianca and Skye then brawled over on the apron. Bianca caught Skye and swung her into the barricade. Dakota Kai and Bayley then stood in Bianca's way before we got Alexa Bliss and Asuka coming out to even the odds. Coming back from a second commercial, we had a suplex toss by Bianca Belair off the top, standing moonsault for a 2. Shirai, or Skye, came back with a double stomp, double knees, Bianca with a spine buster. Skye was in a prone position. All of a sudden, she got her knees up on a moonsault from Bianca. Bliss then shoved Iyo Skye's feet off the rope. And then all of a sudden, the other 4 got into the ring. They started brawling with each other. And then the ref called for the bell. The match itself was excellent. 2 excellent women. I have no complaints about the match itself. The ending was fucking stupid. The ending was fucking retarded. I want you guys to understand that Bayley, Alexa, Dakota Kai, and Asuka did not touch Iyo, nor did they touch Bianca. How exactly is a disqualification warranted if none of the illegal women touched the legal women? I understand that Iyo can't take a loss. I understand that Bianca can't take a loss, but you could have ended it a different way. You could have ended it via a double countout, or Iyo could have gotten the win via countout. It would have protected Bianca. She wouldn't have been pinned, and she wouldn't have been submitted. A countout is not a legit loss. It's not a legit loss. A legit loss is a pinfall and a submission. A countout's not a legit loss. So as long as Bianca's not pinned or submitted while she's the champion, then we're fine. Iyo could have easily won the match via countout, or we could have had a double countout, and then we could have gotten the big brawl. Why did the ref call for a DQ when none of the illegal women touched the legal women in the match? It looked stupid. That was mainly my only gripe with this episode of Monday Night Raw. It just looked fucking stupid. Other than that, the match was fine. This match was my match of the night right here. This was my match of the night. Tommaso Ciampa and AJ Styles. This was a United States Championship #1 contenders match. This was fucking excellent. 15 minutes. Excellent. If you haven't watched it, go out of your way to watch it. It was excellent. Excellent. So Ciampa was in control early on. He had a V-trigger on AJ Styles. That got it too. Styles then pulled out a lethal combination. You know, that backbreaker, flatliner combination that Jay Lethal does. So we had a nice drop kick to Ciampa. Slingshot, phenomenal forearm. Coming back from commercial, Styles with a phenomenal blitz. Stinger splash and an Ushi-Goroshi for a 2. Tommaso Ciampa with a great combination here. He hit a rolling elbow, a punt kick, and a Famouser for a 2. Great stuff right there. Styles then with a suplex into the buckle. Ciampa with a V-trigger in midair. He covered Styles. Styles kicked out. Ciampa hit Project Ciampa. Styles kicked out again. Both men were on the top rope. Ciampa got caught in a Styles clash, but The Miz, who was outside, put Ciampa's foot on the ropes. Styles then sent The Miz over the barricade in a fit of rage. Ciampa then sent Styles into the barricade. Ciampa went for the count out. Styles beat the count. Ciampa hit another V-trigger and the fairy tale ending, and Tommaso Ciampa wins it, and he will fight Bobby Lashley next week for the United States Championship. Excellent. Excellent match. Excellent stuff right here. Very, very happy that we got to see this. Really solid stuff. And Ciampa, he's fighting Lashley next week. I can't complain. Now, who wins? Me, I would personally give it to Ciampa, mainly because I have a bigger vision for Bobby Lashley. If I'm booking this, I would give Ciampa the U.S. Championship, and then I would have Lashley move over to SmackDown and go into a program with Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship, because Gunther needs some fucking challengers. He's going to beat Nakamura next week. Who else is he going to face? I would give it to Lashley. I would give that match to Lashley and have Gunther beat Lashley. Lashley right now, he's not really in a position where he should be in a championship title program and winning championships. Lashley's the type of guy right now that should really be putting over other talent. We'll have to wait and see there. But the match with Ciampa and Styles, excellent. Very, very happy that Ciampa is getting this opportunity, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing that match with Ciampa and Bobby Lashley next week. That's going to be very interesting. Main event, we got the Usos and the Mysterios for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championship. And you know what I love about this match? No championship contenders match. The Mysterios were on a tag team winning streak. Here they are getting the championships. Perfect. Wins and losses matter. Treat it like a fucking sport. That's what Triple H is doing. Isn't it a beautiful thing to see? So this was a very good match as well. A lot of very good wrestling on the show. Rey and Dominic took the fight to the Usos early. Dominic hit a big crossbody. Coming back from commercial, Jimmy Uso wore down Rey Mysterio. Jay with a hip attack on Rey. Rey fought back. He tagged in Dominic. Crossbody, some clotheslines, and a nice neck breaker to both Usos by Dominic. Dominic then was sent into the barricade by the Usos. Coming back from a second commercial, Rey caught a super kick by Jay. Hurricane Rana by Rey to Jimmy. Double 619. Splash by Dominic. I thought we were going to have new tag team champions, but Jay saved the match. Everyone started taking out everyone. We had a couple dives by the Usos. I believe it was Jay that dove on Rey. All of a sudden, the Usos hit the 1D, one and done, on Dominic, and the Usos retain. Very good match. Judgment Day then came out to attack the Mysterios. Edge then made his way to the ring to help the Mysterios. He took out Balor, and he was going to go for the spear, but Rhea Ripley shoved Dominic into the way of the spear, and Edge accidentally speared Dominic. I don't know what's going to happen there, but that should be an interesting scenario. Are the Mysterios going to be in a scenario where Edge could potentially be the babyface and the Mysterios are going to turn heel? Could there be some double friction there? I don't know. I wouldn't really do that, but we'll have to wait and see. I hope Dominic doesn't join Judgment Day. That's for sure. Because Judgment Day, they are pretty much dead. And it sucks. It sucks because they had so much potential. And Vince McMahon killed it. Didn't even allow them to get off the ground. NXT 2.0 this week. Really nothing to review. Katana Chance and Kaden Carter won the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships. So Triple H is at least trying to build new stars there. So shout out to them. I was actually texting Jess. And I could actually feel her excitement behind text messages because Katana, Casey, didn't tell her that they were winning the Tag Team Championship. So she automatically assumed that they were going to lose. And here she's texting me after I texted her. Oh my God, I'm beside myself. She didn't even tell me. So it was a nice moment right there. We all love Casey. We love Katana. We love Kaden. They're two very good pro wrestlers. And it's fun to see them succeeding, especially in a scenario in which under Vince and Bruce, they would have never succeeded. So shout out to them. Carmelo Hayes and Nathan Frazer, they had a North American Championship Open Challenge. It looks like we are going to get a Nathan Frazer versus Giovanni Vinci match, which I'm very much looking forward to there. Carmelo Hayes continues to do what he's doing. We have NXT Heatwave coming up, in which I am going to review. I will review. Tony D'Angelo and Stax were screwed over from winning the NXT Tag Team Championships thanks to Santos Escobar. And then in the main event, we had Solo Sikoa defeat Von Wagner in what was a pretty fun match. Nothing over the top. Solo Sikoa continues to build his own momentum, and I could honestly see Solo Sikoa being the one to take that title off of Mr. Hayes. I would not call him up to the main roster yet. I would hold off on that. I would wait until next year to call Solo Sikoa up to the main roster, and I put him with the Usos. So that was pretty much NXT 2.0. We are over an hour into the stream. We got a couple more shows to talk about. We got PAC's All-Atlantic Championship title defense. We got Dynamite, SmackDown, and Rampage. We're going to go over that in just a little bit. But first things first, shout out to everyone in the chat. If you guys are watching on my channel, go over to the Hardcore Sports channel and like it over there. If you're on the Hardcore Sports channel, go over to my channel and like it over there. We got 11 likes on the Hardcore Sports channel. Count it, 11. We got 11 likes there. Let's see how many likes that we got on my channel. On my channel, we got exactly 12 likes. Not too bad. Could have expected a little bit better. Here's what I want y'all to do. Share out all the streams on all platforms, social media. Share it out. Let's get some more people in here. We're going to talk about PAC's All-Atlantic Championship title defense against Connor Mills, who I've never heard of. It's my first time seeing Connor Mills, and he didn't do too bad for himself, did Connor Mills. Keep on sharing the stream out and keep on getting as many people in here as possible. So AEW Dark, I like what they're doing with PAC, and it looks like PAC will indeed be a part of the Trios Championship Tournament, which I am very happy to hear about. I'm very happy to hear about, and it really does look like PAC could very well be defending the All-Atlantic Championship at All Out this year. And if I am booking it, I would love to see a PAC versus a Roosh match. I'd love to see PAC versus Roosh, PAC and Andrade, PAC and anyone, really. PAC right now is one of the best in the world. Very happy that he had the championship, and I understand what Tony Khan's doing. He wants to get PAC out there and expand AEW across the globe, which he's doing very nicely. I just hope that we get PAC more on Dynamite sooner rather than later. But we are indeed getting PAC in the Trios Championship Tournament. Death Triangle will be a part of the tournament. Should be interesting to see who they will be facing. PAC versus Connor Mills. This was for the All-Atlantic Championship. This was from Rev Pro Wrestling. Mills poured on the aggression very early. Mills with a nice missile drop kick for a 2. PAC took Mills on the stage and gave him a tombstone pile driver. PAC was in control. Mills got caught with a snap German. Mills came back with a big lariat for a 2. PAC with a Liger bomb. PAC went up top for a 450, but he missed. Mills with a 450 of his own. PAC kicked out. We had some back and forth strikes by both men. PAC was then caught with a burning hammer. This was a great move right here by Connor Mills. He had PAC in a burning hammer, and he transitioned from a burning hammer into a cutter. Very close to count. Mills looked good in this match. PAC then with an avalanche brainbuster from the top, and then he hit the Black Arrow, and PAC retains the All-Atlantic Championship in a very good match. Afterwards, we saw Kip Sabian sitting with a box at ringside. Not sure what that means, but we could be looking at a PAC versus Kip Sabian match. Not really sure if many people are going to care about that, considering that we have not seen anything of Kip Sabian in a long, long time. I would actually love to see what Kip Sabian can do, how much better he's gotten in the ring, how much better shape he's gotten in. I'd actually love to see. So we'll have to wait on that. But PAC and Connor Mills, very good match for the All-Atlantic Championship. Solid stuff right here. AEW Dynamite. Excellent episode of AEW Dynamite this week. Awesome stuff. They're building to a lot of great material. We got Battle of the Belts 3 tonight, which should be a very good 1-hour show. We got Quake by the Lake next week. We got All Out coming up. A lot of good stuff right there. We got Grand Slam coming up. AEW really starting to rejuvenate themselves a little bit. They had a little bit of a slump after Forbidden Door, but it looks like things are starting to get back on the right track. I'm loving what they're doing right here. We had a very good match with Jay Lethal and Orange Cassidy to kick off the show. So Cassidy was actually out wrestling Jay Lethal early on. How often have you heard that? Cassidy with a tope suicida. Jay tried to crawl up on the ramp before Satnam Singh came out to protect Jay Lethal. The best friends then came out wearing a big brown trench coat with Trent walking on top, or excuse me, Trent was on top of Chucky's shoulders. And they were acting like they were bigger than Satnam Singh. So a little cheesy right there, but that was really it. They were stacked on top of each other in a big brown trench coat. Cassidy then took the fight to Lethal with a diving crossbody. Lethal then took over with a dragon screw. Lethal targeted Orange Cassidy's leg. Coming back from commercial, Cassidy got caught with a top rope dragon screw, and then he locked in a figure four, did Jay Lethal. Cassidy then got out, hit a stun dog millionaire. Lethal with the lethal combination for a 2. Cassidy came back with a diving DDT and a satellite DDT for a 2. We had an air raid crash by Orange Cassidy with a beach break. That got a 2. Cassidy then rolled up Lethal for a 2. Lethal then kicked Orange Cassidy right in the leg. And then he hit the lethal injection, which is a beautiful fight. Loved how the lethal injection looks. Love the lethal injection. So we had the lethal injection, and that was it. Lethal wins. Very good match with Orange Cassidy. Afterwards, Sanjay Dutt and Satnam Singh came out. Dutt hyped up Lethal. Dutt then interviewed Lethal about Wardlow, mocking Tony Schiavone almost. Lethal commented on Wardlow and told Wardlow he's going to break Cassidy's leg. Wardlow then came out, as did the best friends. Sanjay Dutt then ran off, along with Jay Lethal and Satnam Singh, and he pitched that Battle of the Belts 3, Jay Lethal and Wardlow for the TNT title. Wardlow then goes, Columbus, Ohio, welcome to Wardlow's world. I like that. That's a nice little catchphrase for Wardlow. I think that right there could definitely be something that the crowd can do and shit. It's something simple. It's been done before, but it's certainly something that's going to help Wardlow get a little bit more over and stay over. So he goes, welcome to Wardlow's world. Does Wardlow have a t-shirt that says Wardlow's world? I wouldn't mind that. I'd love to see Wardlow get a t-shirt that says welcome to Wardlow's world. So Wardlow then said, you don't got the balls to show up tonight. It doesn't matter what time, what place, what city. The end result is Wardlow's going to whoop that ass. So we're getting Wardlow Jay Lethal, TNT Championship. I don't got a single fucking complaint about that. I don't think anyone should have a single fucking complaint about that. Wardlow Jay Lethal. Jay Lethal could bring Wardlow to his best match in AEW. Good stuff. Good stuff. So from there, we go into the Undisputed Elite. The Undisputed Elite, they were in the ring. Adam Cole was hyping up that he's back. He's as confident as ever. He said that he's still not medically cleared. He's still not medically cleared. And he talked about great leadership and chemistry. He says that we are 4 of the best as we speak. I've traveled the world with Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly. I came to AEW because of the Young Bucks. Talking about that. Then all of a sudden we had Adam Cole say, if I'm not medically cleared, and if Kyle O'Reilly's not medically cleared, if you're not going to choose Bobby Fish, then I guess you guys won't be in the tournament. So he then said, I'm sorry, I misspoke. What I really mean is that you won't be physically able to compete in the tournament. All of a sudden, O'Reilly, Fish, and Cole attacked the Bucks. Love it. And they attacked Cutler too. And they panned to some kid in the crowd who was crying. I love it. Absolutely love that shit right there. Some kid in the crowd was fucking crying. So, from there, all of a sudden, Adam Hangman Page comes out with a pipe, ran off the Undisputed Elite. He then extended his hand towards Matt Jackson, and Matt Jackson accepted. I like it. We could see the return of the Hung Bucks. The return of the Hung Bucks, as Excalibur pointed out. I do not have a single complaint about that, and this could very well lead to the return of Kenny Omega. You know for a fact Kenny Omega and Adam Cole is absolutely going to be a match that a lot of people are going to be looking forward to. So, I mean, if we're looking towards Kenny Omega and Adam Cole, I mean, that's a match of the year candidate right there. Take my money. And we could very well see Adam Page and the Young Bucks win. Very well see Adam Page and the Young Bucks win the AEW Trios Championship Tournament. Who knows? I would prefer the House of Black, but I mean, I can't complain about Hangman and the Bucks. So it's going to be very interesting to see where Omega fits into all of this. Very, very interesting scenario developing right here. Love it. We had Thunderstorm versus Britt Baker and Jamie Hayter. It's a great fucking women's match. Many people, if some people would say to me that this was their best match of the night, if this was the match of the night for them, if it was Thunderstorm versus Baker and Jamie Hayter as the match of the night, I would not bat an eyelash at you. I would not look at you in a weird manner. This was a great fucking tag team match. All four women showed up, and they showed out. So Rosa was isolated by Baker and Hayter. She hit a stunner on Jamie Hayter. All of a sudden, we had a tag to Storm. We had a big crossbody on Jamie Hayter. Tornado DDT on Britt on the floor. Another crossbody on Jamie Hayter. And then we had an Alabama slam, which didn't really look all that good, but she got enough of it. That got a 2 count. All of a sudden, we had Jamie Hayter hitting a doubles suplex on Thunder Rosa and Toni Storm. Nice spot right there. And then Britt Baker tagged in. Britt with a rolling elbow, but then she caught a Death Valley driver by Thunder Rosa for her troubles. Tagged to Storm. Rebel distracted Toni Storm. Britt took over and hit an air raid crash from the middle rope to Toni Storm. Tagged to Hayter. Big lariat. Curb stomp by Britt Baker. Hayter covered. Rosa with a diving double stomp off the top. And Rosa saved the match. Rosa and Baker got into it again. We had some back and forth. We had an air raid crash by Britt Baker. Tornado DDT by Storm. Backbreaker by Hayter. All four women were down. We had double German suplexes by Rosa and Storm. All of a sudden, we had hip attacks. That's right. Hip attacks by Storm to Baker, to Hayter. Baker and Hayter. All of a sudden, Baker pulled Thunder Rosa into the way of a Toni Storm hip attack. She didn't know until it was too late. Hayter then with the wicked lariat on Toni Storm, and Jamie Hayter scores a big win. Exactly what should have happened. Hayter scores the win by pinning Storm. And the thing that I love about this the most is that Britt Baker is now in a scenario where she's helping other women get over. This is exactly what she should be doing. She put over Ruby. She put over Toni. And now she's transferring that star power to Jamie Hayter. And now Jamie Hayter has a women's title match tonight. Love it. So simple. So simple. So this was a great match, and Jamie Hayter's match with Thunder Rosa should be great too. Eddie Kingston, he interrupted a promo with Sammy Guevara and Ty Conti. They were getting married in Paris, which is why they were not on TV. All of a sudden, Kingston then says, I got the contract. I faxed it to you. Sign it, and I will see you at the pay-per-view. Sammy Guevara and Eddie Kingston. I mean, I don't got to fucking complain about that. I don't got a single complaint about that. Powerhouse Hobbs. He took on Ren Jones. Powerhouse Hobbs, he's got a new theme song and a great new presentation. He's kneeling down with his hands out as if he's Jesus Christ. And you got this white spotlight on him. Great shit right there. Hobbs looks like a winner. Hobbs got the easy win here. He was standing in the ring. All of a sudden, Starks ran to the ring, and we got a brawl. Hobbs planted Starks, and he got the advantage. I'm loving this. This should be a great fucking match going into All Out. Ricky Starks is going to be over as fuck in Chicago. Quake by the Lake next week. We got Brody King versus Darby Allin in a coffin match. We got a tornado tag team match between Andrade Rush and the Lucha Brothers. We also got Madison Rayne versus Jade Cargill for the TBS Championship. Solid stuff right there. Christian Cage and Matt Hardy. They had a match here. You know, I know a lot of people are going to say a lot of things about Matt Hardy, but let me tell you something. You should not be discrediting Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy is not a guy that is going to be winning any major championships, but Matt Hardy, when he's given the opportunity, Matt Hardy puts on a very good match. That's exactly what Matt Hardy did right here. Matt Hardy gave you a very, very good match here with Christian Cage. They worked their ass off in this match, and Christian Cage got the win, just like he should have. I don't really see a reason why anyone would be complaining about this. So Christian's t-shirt is excellent. He had a t-shirt that said, "Worked everyone." Love it. So we get a fight right out of the gate. Christian Cage took over. Hardy then shoved him off the top rope. Hardy cleared the timekeeper's table. Cage then stopped Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy bashed Christian's head off the buckle. We had a slingshot into a powerbomb by Matt Hardy. That got a 2 count. Hardy was then sent back first into the steps. Christian took over, coming back from commercial. Hardy with a superplex on Christian Cage for a 2. We had a backdrop driver and a diving elbow to the neck. Christian with the overhead kick. Back off the rope. Christian, he was dropped off the top rope. And Matt Hardy delivered a diving elbow drop from the middle rope. That got a 2 count. Christian Cage with a diving headbutt for a 2. We had a side effect by Matt Hardy for a 2. Matt with a side effect on the apron. And then Matt Hardy went for the timekeeper's table. He placed Christian Cage on the timekeeper's table. And then all of a sudden he went for the diving elbow drop. But Christian Cage moved out of the way. Christian Cage moved as Matt Hardy went crashing through the fucking table. Christian rolled Matt Hardy back into the ring, hit the kill switch, and Christian Cage gets the win over Matt Hardy. Afterwards, Christian Cage went for a concerto before Luchasaurus came out. Jungle Boy came up from behind, and Christian ran off. Jungle Boy was wearing a t-shirt. I thought Christian's shirt was good. Jungle Boy was wearing a t-shirt that said, "Christian is a pussy." I laughed my fucking ass off when I saw that shirt. That shirt was amazing. This match at All Out is going to be fucking phenomenal. Cannot wait for that shit. I am telling you right now, it is going to be something. It's really going to be fucking something. People are going to want to see Jungle Boy legitimately kick Christian Cage's ass. It's going to be great. And you know what I love about this? Luchasaurus is looming in the background. Luchasaurus is still wearing black. He still has the heel theme music. Luchasaurus is going to fuck over Jungle Boy. Luchasaurus is going to fuck over Jungle Boy, and it is going to be probably one of the greatest fuckovers that we've seen. Luchasaurus is going to be a fucking heel magnet. And one thing that I really hope happens is I would absolutely fucking love to see. I would love to see Jungle Boy recruit Wardlow. So that way, if we get a tag team match, we can get Jungle Boy recruiting Wardlow for a tag team match against Luchasaurus and Christian Cage. And then that could potentially lead to a Wardlow versus Luchasaurus TNT Championship match. For now, I think Wardlow is going into All Out, and I think he's going to fight Jay Lethal and Orange Cassidy in a triple threat match. That's where I think we're headed. But I think afterwards, Wardlow should join Jungle Boy, and he should be fighting alongside Jungle Boy with Christian Cage and Luchasaurus, and that should be a tag team feud going into the fall, with Luchasaurus inevitably getting a TNT Championship opportunity at Wardlow. That's what I'm looking forward to. Ethan Page, he had a microphone. Page then asked why he's not on TV every week. All of a sudden, Stokely Hathaway came out while Ethan Page was ranting in the ring about how he deserved better. Stokely was just standing there. Page saw Stokely Hathaway, whispered something in his ear, and then gave his business card to Ethan Page. So Stokely Hathaway, he is building a nice, solid faction for himself. We got Lee Moriarty, who he could potentially take to a fucking Ring of Honor World Television Championship or a potential Ring of Honor Pure Championship. If Stokely's managing Lee Moriarty, give me Lee Moriarty and Wheeler Yuta. Lee Moriarty as the pure champion could really do some fucking damage. I'm loving that. Now we got Ethan Page. Ethan Page and Wardlow. I would love to see that. Maybe Ethan Page and Pac. Who knows? So after that, we get the Acclaimed versus the Gun Club. This was a dumpster match. The Acclaimed attacked Billy Gunn right out of the gate. Bowens hit the Gun Club with a trash can before Max Caster did his rap, talking about how the Ash Boys should retire like Vince McMahon. Love it. Love it. Bowens then took it to Austin. Austin Gunn then slammed the dumpster lid on Bowens' head. The Acclaimed hit the Gun Club with bedpans that came out of the dumpster. All of a sudden, the Acclaimed fought back. They were on the top of the dumpster. Bowens was then sent off of the dumpster onto a bunch of trash cans, which were on the floor. Landing did not look very good. Gun Club then brought out a table. We had a suplex on the steel ramp to Caster. Bowens then got dropped with the silencer on the ramp. Austin went on top of the tunnel. Bowens was on the table. All of a sudden, Colton got taken out. Max Caster was right behind Austin Gunn. Right behind him. He tossed Austin Gunn off of the tunnel into the dumpster, and then Colton was placed on the table, and Max Caster hit the mic drop off the tunnel through the table. Colton was then thrown into the dumpster. The lid was closed, and the Acclaimed win this match. Very fun match. And then, all of a sudden, just like the New Age Outlaws did to Chainsaw Charlie and Cactus Jack, the Acclaimed then pushed the dumpster over the stage, and the dumpster legit flipped over with the Gun Club still inside. It looked fucking brutal. Nasty shit right there. Crazy. Very fun match. The Acclaimed gets the win. I was actually doubting the Acclaimed as babyfaces. I am happy to say that I was wrong. I was wrong there. I think the Acclaimed are going to be really, really, really solid babyfaces. I'm very much looking forward to seeing what happens with the Acclaimed now that they are full-fledged babyfaces. Should be an interesting ride. So from there, then we go into Wheeler Yuta and Chris Jericho. This was for the opportunity to fight Moxley at Quake by the Lake. Yuta took the fight to Jericho before Aubrey Edwards ejected 2.0. Jericho then took over. Coming back from commercial, Yuta with a flying forearm off the top. Nice set of German suplexes. That got a 2. Jericho then locked in the walls of Jericho before Yuta got out. Big tope suicida. Another one. A third one. Crossbody by Yuta for a 2. We had a butterfly backbreaker by Jericho. Lion salt. But Yuta got the knees up. We had a crossbody in midair being countered by a codebreaker by Chris Jericho. Codebreaker, Yuta kicked out. Yuta then locked in the Regal stretch. Jericho grabbed Floyd the Bat. Aubrey took it away. And while Aubrey was putting the bat away, Chris Jericho kicked Wheeler Yuta in the balls, locked in the Lion Tamer with the knee on Yuta's head. It looked nasty. And Yuta ended up tapping out. Very good match. Yuta was still locked in the Lion Tamer before Moxley came out. Jericho ran off. He took the mic and he said, Moxley opened Pandora's box. You want the lion heart? You got it. And I'm going to stretch the shit out of you and walk out the new AEW World Champion. Excellent. I don't got one fucking complaint out of this. Excellent. Excellent stuff. Really solid stuff right here. Very much looking forward to Battle of the Belts, Quake by the Lake, All Out. AEW's got a lot of big shows coming up. Should be a very, very, very fun month of pro wrestling for AEW. So, I hope you guys are having a good time. I hope you guys have been enjoying this fine Saturday stream. Me being the best that there is here in the IWC. Got a solid 13 people watching. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, if you're on my channel, go over to Hardcore Sports Channel, like the video there. If you're on Hardcore Sports Channel, like the video on my channel as well. I'm telling you, you are not going to regret it. When DJ Storms is live on YouTube, I bring the fucking heat. I bring the heat more so than the summer brings the fucking heat. I'm telling you that. Anyway, SmackDown. SmackDown was not bad. Not bad at all. It certainly needs more work than Monday Night Raw. But I do have a feeling that we will get it sooner rather than later. I do believe that Triple H is doing his best to make do with what he's been given. Unfortunately, it is going to take a while. But for what we got, it wasn't terrible. It wasn't great. But it was probably the most bearable SmackDown that we've seen all year. So they replayed SummerSlam and the moment where McAfee kicked Corbin in the balls. From there, we started off the show with Ricochet versus Happy Corbin. And this, probably when you look back at it, was the best match of the entire night. Out of all the matches that we saw on SmackDown, this was probably the best match of the night. Ricochet and Happy Corbin. Corbin, I've said it once, I'll say it again. Corbin's problem has never been his in-ring ability. Never. Corbin's problem has always been his character. Corbin has had some of the worst characters in the entire wrestling industry right now. Corbin's character, he went from Constable Corbin to TGI Fridays, General Manager-elect King Corbin, and here we have Happy Corbin. Baron Corbin had the world in his hands as the Lone Wolf. Baron Corbin was a future world champion at one point, and I even discussed this with Stevie in the group chat that we have. Baron Corbin has been such a huge waste of potential. I actually want better for Corbin, but as soon as they got rid of the Lone Wolf gimmick, soon as they did, Baron Corbin's career has been dead. Baron Corbin has pretty much been worthless. Baron Corbin, you may as well not even have Baron Corbin on your roster anymore if he's not going to be the Lone Wolf. Baron Corbin needs to be the Lone Wolf. He's never had a problem in the ring. Baron Corbin is a very good in-ring performer. He just sucks as a gimmick. But the match itself that he put on here with Ricochet was actually very good. I didn't have an issue with anything that took place in the ring. And Ricochet got to win clean. So Ricochet was flying all over the place. He had a Fosbury flop on Corbin. Ricochet then got caught with a lariat by Corbin. Corbin wore down Ricochet. Corbin then punched Ricochet directly in the face. Ricochet came back with a super kick. Corbin sent Ricochet into the post. He launched him into the post. Coming back from commercial, Corbin then launched Ricochet in midair with a back body drop. Michael Cole was selling the shit out of this. Really nice stuff right here on Michael Cole's part. Ricochet came back with a springboard clothesline and a standing shooting star for a 2. Corbin with a torture rack neck breaker. See, again, Corbin's not a bad wrestler. Corbin was pulling out some new material. Torture rack neck breaker. I didn't mind that. Corbin is good when he's given the opportunity. Just change his fucking gimmick. So, Corbin, he hit a deep 6. That got a 2 count. Ricochet was then shoved off the ropes by Corbin. Corbin then mocked McAfee. Obviously, this came back to haunt him. Corbin got crotched on the top rope. And then Corbin hit a recoil. Or Corbin got caught with a recoil. Ricochet then went up to the top rope, hit a beautiful shooting star press, and Ricochet gets the win in a very good match here with Happy Corbin. Ricochet, I'd actually love to see Ricochet in potential contention for a world championship. After McIntyre inevitably beats Roman, which he should, give me Corbin and Corbin, I don't know what Corbin does. Give me Corbin as the lone wolf, and then give me Ricochet versus McIntyre. I think they could put on a great match. Give me that match at Extreme Rules. That could be great. Shinsuke Nakamura, he took on Ludwig Kaiser. This was a number 1 contenders match. And if Shinsuke Nakamura won, then Shinsuke Nakamura would inevitably go on to fight Gunther next week for the IC Championship. This was a decent little match right here. Both men are not bad at all in the ring. Nakamura is one of the best, but unfortunately, he has not been booked well. But now that Triple H is in control, I have full faith that we are going to see Nakamura be booked like the superstar that he should be booked like. So Nakamura was worn down by Ludwig Kaiser before Nakamura came back with some kicks. Kaiser with a flipping slam coming back from commercial. Nakamura mounted a comeback with an axe kick on the ropes, sliding German suplex, and he stood eye to eye with Gunther. He's like, yeah, come on. I know, I'm coming for you. Nakamura then got caught with an uppercut by Ludwig Kaiser. That got a 2 count. Kaiser then with a modified Northern Lights bomb. That got a 2. Nakamura countered with an Enziguri, and then he hit the Kinshasa and defeated Ludwig Kaiser. Decent little match. We got a couple decent matches right here with Kaiser, Kaiser, Nakamura, Ricochet, and Happy Corbin. And then Nakamura stood face-to-face with Gunther, and he's like, yeah, come on. So I'm actually looking forward to next week's match with Nakamura and Gunther. Should be good. So Liv Morgan then comes out after this. She was interviewed. She had an arm brace on. She talked about how she was feeling a lot of emotions because she needed to address the elephant in the room. So the crowd started chanting, "You tapped out. You tapped out." Why? I'll tell you why. Vince McMahon and how terrible Liv Morgan has been booked. Liv Morgan has legitimately been booked like a fucking loser. She's legitimately the female Dolph Ziggler. She was a loser. She barely even won 3 matches before she won Money in the Bank and beat Ronda Rousey. That ending at SummerSlam was a terrible way to book it. Now that I look back on it, it was terrible. And the reason being is because when you do not book an individual like a champion, and when the individual with the championship has given you nothing to believe in, and Liv Morgan, because of Vince, has given us nothing to believe in, now Liv Morgan is in a scenario where the fans are not going to connect with her. If you're not booked well like a champion, she's not going to be well received like a champion. Vince McMahon killed Liv Morgan. Vince McMahon destroyed Liv Morgan, and she got that big pop only because the fans wanted something new. Now that Liv Morgan is the champion, and now that her reputation is supposed to be a reputation of a fucking champion, now the fans are starting to see through it. Not a good way to book Liv Morgan at SummerSlam. And Vince has no one to blame but himself. Triple H had no choice but to do that ending. But at the end of the fucking day, Vince is to blame for Liv Morgan getting booed and getting the "you tapped out" chance. They better not turn Liv Morgan heel. I don't think she could do a heel good at all. Now, Sonya then came out, called the crowd dumb. She said Liv Morgan shouldn't be the champion. And then Sonya promised to break Liv's arm and take the title from her at Clash at the Castle. The crowd was actually chanting Ronda Rousey during this women's gauntlet match. Now, if this continues next week, then we have a problem. But I'm not blaming Liv, nor am I blaming Triple H. It's all on Vince for ruining Liv Morgan's reputation and booking her like the female Dolph Ziggler to a point where no one gives a fuck about her. And that ending at SummerSlam didn't help. We all know that Ronda Rousey should realistically be the SmackDown Women's Champion. The fans aren't stupid. If you're not going to book someone like a champion, they're not going to be well received like a champion. That's how it goes. And I'm not blaming Liv, and I'm not blaming Triple H. It's all on Vince. So we had this number one contenders gauntlet match. Sonya Deville and Aaliyah started this match off. Aaliyah tried to gain the early advantage with a crossbody for a 2. Deville then advanced with the Deville's Advocate, which I believe is a suplex into a rock bottom. I didn't catch it last minute. I believe that's what it is. It's called the Deville's Advocate, the stalling suplex into a rock bottom. So Deville advanced, and then we go into Sonya Deville facing off against Raquel Rodriguez. And I will say this. The match itself really wasn't anything to go back and watch. And that's just because the women's division sucks, and the women's division's been booked horribly. Baszler's a very good wrestler. Sonya's a very good wrestler. Raquel is a very good wrestler. Xia Li, Shotzi Blackheart. But the problem is that no one has been booked like a credible threat. No one gives a shit about these women because of how badly it was booked. But I will say this. Raquel looked very good. So Raquel came in. Sonya obviously made the leg of Raquel Gonzalez or Raquel Rodriguez a target. Raquel then with a side slam, spinning elbow splash, and then the Tejana bomb. And then she advances. Shotzi Blackheart then came out. Shotzi hit a very nice satellite DDT on Raquel Rodriguez. Nice stuff right there. Raquel then mounted a comeback. She had a nice fallaway slam and the spinning Vader bomb again. Another Tejana bomb. Raquel, she ends up advancing. Raquel then advanced to fight Xia Li. Xia Li came out. She delivered some stiff kicks, and she targeted the leg of Raquel again. Raquel came back with a headbutt, fallaway slam, spinning Vader bomb, and then another Tejana bomb. Raquel advances again before Natalya came out. Natalya then tried going for the sharpshooter. She targeted the leg and the knee of Raquel again. Raquel tried to fight back. Raquel with a vertical suplex for a 2. Another sharpshooter locked in by Natalya. Raquel got to the ropes. Natalya was doing the 10 punches in the corner. Natalya then got caught with another Tejana bomb, and Raquel Rodriguez advances, and then out comes Shayna Baszler. So up to this point, Raquel Rodriguez was looking very good, and Raquel Rodriguez had all the momentum going for her, and the crowd was actually starting to get a little bit behind her. She was booked semi-decently here. I will give credit where credit's due there. Raquel looked semi-decent here. So coming back from a second commercial, Shayna took it to Raquel. We had a stiff knee right to the jaw. That got a 2. Raquel came back with a stinger splash. She went for another spinning Vader bomb, but Shayna Baszler caught her in the Karafuda clutch. Raquel tried to fight back. Shayna got rolled up. She reversed it into a German suplex leverage pin, and Shayna Baszler got the win. Absolutely the right fucking outcome. Absolutely the right way to go about it. And I don't know about you, but I mean, if Shayna Baszler is fighting Liv Morgan, I would not hesitate to give Shayna Baszler the SmackDown Women's Championship and build up Shayna Baszler as the monster that we all know she should be built up as. I'm giving this championship to Shayna Baszler, and I'm making Shayna Baszler the badass of SmackDown. Then we could potentially get Naomi and Sasha to come back to fight her. Baszler is the woman that I am putting in this scenario to beat Liv Morgan. I don't know if Liv Morgan's going to get past Shayna Baszler. I honestly believe Shayna Baszler should win this. Now, the match itself wasn't all that exciting. And that's not the wrestler's fault. That's not the fans' fault. That's just because of how bad the division's been booked. But Shayna Baszler winning was the right outcome. You roll that combined with Raquel Rodriguez. I'm still trying to get Rodriguez down. I know her as Raquel Gonzalez, but Raquel Rodriguez's booking of the match, Raquel Rodriguez looked pretty decent here. I really didn't have an issue. Sami Zayn, he was with the Usos. He was trying to talk to Roman all night before Jey Uso said to Sami that he needs to start pulling his weight around. So, though that right there, if you guys didn't sense it, that right there is a seed planted. And this is what I love. Seed has been planted. Seed has been planted for Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens versus the Usos at Clash at the Castle for the Undisputed Tag Team Championship. And this is exactly what we need. And I've been one that's been saying it for months now. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens need to be babyface. Kevin Owens is a lukewarm, middle-of-the-road heel right now. He has gone as far as he can go as a heel. We need him as a babyface. That and the fact that there's not enough babyfaces on TV right now. Then you got Zayn, who has been booked like a fucking chicken shit heel. The chicken shit heel, I don't give a shit how good Sami Zayn plays it. The chicken shit heel is undoubtedly one of the worst characters in modern-day pro wrestling in general. The chicken shit heel gimmick is overplayed. It is overdone. It is fucking annoying. Sami Zayn is fucking annoying. Make him a babyface. Make him the underdog from the underground. And give me Sami and Kevin versus the Usos with Sami and Kevin winning the championships. And let's rejuvenate this tag team division right now. These two need to be babyface. And I hope that's what we're looking at. The Viking Raiders, they took on a couple jobbers, Jim Monkley and Tommy Gibson. They just absolutely destroyed them. Double powerbomb, the Viking Raiders get the win. Kofi Kingston then came out, no New Day music, no pancakes. He came out from behind them with a kendo stick, looking serious. I like it. He just started beating the shit out of the Viking Raiders. Kofi, he then took on Eric. Kofi ended up getting the win with a roll-up here. I was actually enjoying the match for what it was up until Kofi got the win. 50-50 booking sucks. I understand that you can't have Kofi Kingston look like a fucking bum. I understand that, but this isn't really the best route to go about it. Enough with the 50-50 booking. Now, they're still undefeated in tag team competition. They still look vicious. I will say that. They are still being booked like monsters, but they shouldn't have won this. Kofi shouldn't have won this. Eric should have gotten this. I understand it's singles competition, but still. Next week on Raw, the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship Tournament will begin. I don't know who Triple H is going to bring in to compete in the championship tournament. To be quite honest with you, I don't care because the women's tag team titles suck, but I'm giving a little optimism towards Triple H because I do believe that he could very well give us a fairly decent women's championship tournament. And if I'm booking this, I'm going with Sasha and Naomi versus Dakota Kai and Iyo Skye at Clash at the Castle, with Dakota and Iyo getting the win here. The main segment. Roman Reigns and the Bloodline. They came out and they were going to address Drew McIntyre. So Roman Reigns goes, Greensville, South Carolina. Acknowledge me. So Roman says how he hates Brock, but he respects him, but he still hates him. He tried to kill the wise man. Don't know why, but I actually laughed at that. So Drew McIntyre came out and he said that he wants to tear apart the Bloodline. All of a sudden, lights go out, music comes on, and we get Scarlett on the ramp. And then out of nowhere, Karrion Kross comes out from in front of Drew McIntyre, completely shocks the world, out of fucking nowhere, and Kross attacks Drew, lays him out, and Scarlett then gives Roman an hourglass. So it looks like Kross is targeting Roman. Apparently, Fightful reported that Karrion Kross is going to be a major star and he could very well take one of the titles from Roman. I do not want that to happen. Not now. Kross does not need to be world champion now. He doesn't. What needs to happen is the championships need to stay as one. The championship should not be split back into two. They should stay as one. So at the end of the day, what should happen is Drew needs to beat Roman. I don't mind Cross fighting Roman. Cross should be fighting Roman, but not for the championship. If you want to build up Cross versus Roman, give me Cross and Roman at Survivor Series. You want to build up Survivor Series, make Survivor Series a must-see event. That's a big money match for Survivor Series. You can do that. Maybe after Drew loses the championship, then you could do Karrion Kross versus Drew at WrestleMania next year, but not now. Now is not the time. Drew needs to beat Roman. Drew needs to beat Roman for the championship at Clash at the Castle. Drew needs to go to Extreme Rules, Survivor Series, Royal Rumble. He needs to hold the championship until the Rumble. Drew wins the title. He goes into Clash at the Castle, wins it. He can fight a Ricochet. He could fight a Matt Riddle. He could fight an AJ Styles. Cross then should be built up to fight Roman without the championship. Cross gets built up on his own. Drew then drops the championship to Seth Rollins. Cody comes back, wins the Rumble. Things come full circle with Rollins as the undisputed champion, and Rollins goes to WrestleMania to fight Cody. Yes, Rollins will be a transitional champion, but it tells the best story. Then you can have Austin Theory cash in on Cody Rhodes, make him a prick. Cody wins the championship from Austin Theory. Cody wins the championship from Austin Theory at SummerSlam. Then you could build up Karrion Kross for a potential match with Cody. If I'm booking this, I'm looking at Karrion Kross as the winner of the 2024 Royal Rumble. And I'm looking at a long-term vision with Karrion Kross and Cody fighting for the Undisputed Championship at WrestleMania 40. We do not need Karrion Kross winning the World Championship now. He just got back. He can have some undercard storylines. He can fight a Gunther. He could fight a Roman. He could fight a Drew. You don't need him winning the championship now. Bring back Lesnar. I would be all for Lesnar coming back to fight Kross. That's probably one of the few Lesnar matches that I genuinely want to see is Kross and Lesnar, with Lesnar putting over Kross. That I have no issue with. Kross winning a championship now? No. Too early. He just got back. He doesn't need to win the championship now. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But Karrion Kross being back, look at the stars that were built up this week. Kross, Nakamura, Shayna, Ricochet. It's a great thing to see. It's a real great thing to see. Raquel, you can throw in there. This is exactly what we need, and this is exactly what Triple H is going to do moving forward. SmackDown, not a great show, but it was decent enough to get by. It was passable. Raw was very good. So it's going to be very interesting to see what else Triple H has in store. That was SmackDown. I hope you guys are having a good time. We're going to go over one more show. Rampage. We're wrapping the show up a little bit quickly. Danielle or Dee, we are not having a match. You have gone through enough, okay? You do not want a piece of DJ Storms. I'm staying behind this microphone, this blue snowball microphone right here, and I'm talking about wrestling like I usually do. So, Rampage. Rampage was actually a pretty decent show. It was also live. Rampage was also live. Very happy that we saw Rampage live this week. Rampage had a lot of decent wrestling on the show. We had Mance Warner. It's my first time I'm seeing Mance Warner. Mance Warner versus Jon Moxley, AEW World Championship Eliminator match. First time seeing Mance Warner, and I actually did not mind Mance Warner. I actually think Mance Warner did pretty decently. The guy can hit hard. So he's a hard hitter. He's a brawler. He's a fighter. I like it. He did pretty well. AEW was actually very happy with how Mance Warner did. So, hey, props to Mance Warner. So the fight started right out of the gate. Moxley suplexed Warner onto a chair on the floor. Mance came back with some stiff chops. Moxley came back with some right jabs. Moxley was then whipped into the buckle. Warner sent Moxley into the barricade. Warner caught some knees from Moxley, and then Then Warner with a DDT on the steel steps to Moxley. So Warner was in control. Coming back from commercial, Warner targeted Moxley's leg. Moxley came back with some chops and a spine buster by Warner for a 2. Moxley with a tope suicida. Superplex to Warner. Both men were down. Moxley with a Kimura lock when Warner was busted open. Moxley then with a brutal combination right here. Moxley stomped Warner's head in, delivered a pile driver, stomped him again, and then locked in the bulldog choke. And Warner ended up passing out. Moxley gets the win here in a very physical, very hard-hitting match. Jon Moxley right now, he's really making a case of why he should remain the world champion even after Punk gets back. So, I like what Moxley's doing, but I honestly believe Punk is going to win because the better story is to be told with CM Punk. But Moxley right now, he has been on fire ever since he came back from the alcoholic rehab program. Moxley has been kicking ass, and I have been loving what Jon Moxley has been doing here. He is doing great work. Crowd fucking loves him. So do I. Very hard-hitting match here. Ryan Nemeth took on Konosuke Takeshita. Here. Takeshita was on top of his fucking game tonight. Takeshita was fucking perfect tonight. On top of his game. So, Takeshita, he was going pillar to post, rope to rope, with flying forearms and flying knees. He delivered one of the most beautiful Blue Thunder bombs. If you did not watch this, go back and watch Rampage for this one spot right here. Takeshita delivered perhaps the most beautiful Blue Thunder bomb that I've ever fucking seen. He spun Ryan Nemeth around as if Ryan Nemeth was in a fucking tornado. It looked amazing. On top of his game, he hit a big driving knee, and Takeshita got the win. Avalon then attacked, and he got a big knee for his troubles. I'm telling you right now, I cannot fucking wait to watch Claudio and Takeshita for the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Championship. That right there is something I'm looking forward to. Layla Gray, she took on Madison Rayne. Madison Rayne didn't look half bad here. Madison Rayne, being the veteran that she is, she delivered some nice Northern Light suplexes for a 2. Side effect by Gray. Madison Rayne ended up winning with the cross reigns. Solid stuff here. Jade Cargill then came out saying that she should have handled Madison on her own. She mentioned her open challenge at Quake by the Lake. She then invited Madison to show up, show out, and get that ass beat. But take a couple days off too. All of a sudden, Kiera Hogan tried to attack Madison Rayne from behind. Madison Rayne then hit the cross reins on Kiera Hogan before she stood tall. So Madison Rayne is getting a TBS championship title opportunity at Jade Cargill next week at Quake by the Lake. Should be great. Main event was a very fun match right here. It was Whose House? Swerve's House and Keith Lee, the Limitless One. Tag team champions took on Tony Nese and Josh Woods in a street fight. And this, very solid match right here, very fun match. We got the fight starting right out of the gate. Nese was sent into a chair. Swerve and Lee targeted Woods. Nese threw protein powder in the face of Keith Lee. He then took some guy's water and cleaned his eyes out. Swerve then got a toolbox, nearly hit Nese in the head with it. Nese then hit Keith Lee in the head with the toolbox. Coming back from commercial, Nese and Woods were in control. Tables were set up on the outside. Nese with a spin kick on Swerve for a 2. Lee mounted a comeback. He tossed Woods into Tony Nese. Lee then got a chair. Nese and Woods took over. They double DDT'd Keith Lee on the chair. double cover, Swerve with a 450 splash onto the pile, breaking up the pin. Woods gave Nice a table. Swerve, then with a knee. Mark Sterling hit Swerve with a wrench shot. Woods then put Swerve on the table. Lee saved Swerve. Sterling went up top himself, and Lee then caught him and tossed him through the table. So Mark Sterling went crashing through the table. Woods and Lee were on the apron. Nice super kicked Keith Lee, and both men, Josh Woods and Keith Lee, Josh Woods double German suplexed Keith Lee through the table. Both men went through two tables. Both men crashed and burned. They were completely out. Nice then got some more chairs, and Swerve gave Nice a back body drop on the chairs for his trouble. Swerve then hit the Swerve stomp, and Swerve gets the win here. Tag team champions look strong. Tag team champions look good. I don't know who they're going to face. It's definitely a big question mark right now. We'll have to wait and see. But I'm happy that Swerve and Lee are getting the showcase. Swerve and Lee are doing some great work as of right now. Let's see what they have in store for us. Rampage, pretty solid show. And all in all, pro wrestling this week, it was definitely a thumbs up. A lot of great pro wrestling this week. A lot of things to look forward to. A rather quick lightning flash update. We usually finish half hour before the time elapsed. But ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got for you. That is the LFU for Saturday, August 6th. I'd like to thank each and every single one of you who tuned into the stream. Like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the stream on all the platforms, social media that we're streaming across. Thank you to the ones watching on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, and, of course, YouTube. Check out all the links in the description. Thank you to Danielle, Dee, DJ Sums, Earl Cole, Final Hoss, Mitch. Thank you to everyone. You guys are great. Do not forget, next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, we will have the rewind for AEW Battle of the Belts Part 3 at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And we're going to dissect everything that's going down tonight. I will be sure to be on fire for tonight's Battle of the Belts show. I cannot wait. Should be a fun 1 hour pro wrestling. But till next time, I'm DJ Storms, and this has indeed been the Lightning Flash update. But before I get out of here, people, I gotta know, and this is the most important question that we always address every single week. Who runs the IWC, people? Who runs it? Who? I'll tell ya who runs the IWC. Who but DJ motherfucking Storms. And don't you forget it. Anyway, I will see you all next Tuesday.